What up, guys? Welcome to another episode of Tiz Takes, my blog session. Just a chance to get out my random thoughts, my opinions on things that are just pressing to me that week. First of all, huge shout out to everybody who liked, commented, subscribed, donated, shared, just any way that you supported over the past 2 days. It was my birthday on the 29th, and then it was Pat's birthday on the 30th. So we just appreciate you guys and look forward to bigger and better things in 2021 from us. So today's blog is basically the top 5 most disappointing things from the year 2020. 2020 was a clusterfuck. No better word to describe it. But I think that there were some things that I went into the year thinking would be okay, or thinking would make the right, thinking these things would be great, or had high expectations for them, and then they ended up letting us down pretty majorly this year. So without further ado, I don't like to do a whole lot of wasting of time. Let's get straight into it. So at number 5, the number 5 on the list of top 5 most disappointing things from 2020. Number 5 for us is Kawhi Leonard. Now, you can extend this out to the Clippers, but I'm talking specifically about Kawhi because he was the catalyst for all of this. He literally campaigned and whined and sat out and pouted his way out of San Antonio. And then he gets to the Raptors, wins a wonderful championship for them last year. Everybody's calling him the best player in the league because LeBron was hurt. Then he comes into this year with the Clippers. He has Paul George on his side. He has the sixth man of the year with Lou Williams. He has an excellent defensive squad. Head coach Doc Rivers, like, they were set up and poised, and everybody had them as either the champion or facing the Lakers for the championship. And then the season started. We had Kawhi sitting out almost every other game, talking about load management. We had him missing big games that could have possibly improved their position in the Western Conference standings. We had him kind of throwing shots and having billboards and doing all this stuff to kind of try to get under LeBron's skin. Then the playoffs came, and you get your ass whooped and don't even see LeBron. And LeBron goes on to win the championship. Based on the expectations coming into the year for Kawhi and the Clippers team, and how they left the playoffs and how bad things went, and all of the unrest and little petty differences that started to come up after they lost, got to give it to them. Number 5, most disappointing thing of 2020 was Kawhi Leonard, and by extension, the Clippers. Number 4, y'all know this guy because I love to talk about him. Umar Johnson. Now, this may be a personal number 4 for me. I came into the year not really having a lot of information on Umar as far as the negative side. All I knew is he was trying to open a school. He had supposedly found buildings for it. He was, drumming up fundraising efforts. And then 2020 started, and I started going down the rabbit hole. And you just see scam after scheme, after begging video, after weird suspect action, whether it's him cursing out people every other week because he's upset with them about making YouTube videos about them, whether it's him not having any accountability with the funds that he's raised for the FDMG Academy, whether it's his just lack of transparency with people who probably do want to support him. I mean, I've asked legit questions and not got an answer or been called a troll. Even went so far as to block the Podnas on Twitter because we levied a critique, not cursing, not any of that, but that's how he moves. And it's so disappointing. Umar Johnson is so disappointing because he has such talent and potential to be a really great Black leader if he applied himself a little more. I just feel like he's the perfect example of what happens when potential and talent does not meet application. Um, just sad to see what's happening. The school just looks crazy. Um, and it's all started from a promise of a school psychologist who wanted to help Black boys. And now it's just completely went off the rails. And I don't know if you know what it is. It's just a weekly soap opera at this point. Good fodder for the Podnas podcast, but it's just sad. So number 4, top of the top 5 most disappointing things from 2020 is Dr. Umar Johnson. Number 3, and this is all of us. Number 3 most disappointing thing from 2020 was the American public. Started off 2020, COVID hit, and I saw a lot of really positive things with people really, trying to rally together and look out for each other and sharing supplies and holding doors and helping people and donating to different charities. And then COVID really hit hard, and you started to see the worst of people. We started to see people literally protesting us being safe. You see people constantly not wearing masks, not adhering to the safety protocols that the healthcare providers are, screaming for us to do. And this is in the face. This is in the face of people constantly dying every day. Infection numbers going up, death tolls going up, and people, I'm still going to the grocery store and seeing a lot of people without masks, standing really close to others, coughing and wheezing and wiping their snot and still giving high fives, just completely disregarding their own safety and the safety of others. And I just think that that is horrible. I really thought that this would bring us together and kind of really galvanize us as a country. However, as we end the year, you still have police brutality at an all-time high, and they're not getting charged for it or convicted for it. You still have people not adhering to health protocols. You still have people politicizing stimulus checks, which a lot of people who are in need are desperately screaming for because that's the only way they're going to make it through this and not be homeless or not starve to death. And to just see the American public like literally still be at odds after all of this that's hitting us just makes me sad. You look at other times in history when America has kind of come together to, defeat the greater evil that is at us. Seems like we are getting more and more divided. And I feel like this past election is showing that the fact that the election was that close even shows that we are still far away from being one as a people. So number 3 on the list is definitely the American public. Number 2 on the top 5 most disappointing things from the year 2020. Number 2 on this list could have been number 1, but I feel like our number 1 is just really warranted in being the worst. But number 2 is our American police and justice system. This year, the justice system has just dropped the ball tremendously, whether it be not finding a way to remove Trump from office despite him being impeached, whether it be covering up or completely disregarding the high level of Black and brown people who have been killed this year unjustifiably, whether it be their response to the peaceful protests that happened in many of our cities and states around the country in response to the police brutality. It feels like our country is going toward a militarized state and the police are becoming another arm of the armed forces. And that's scary because when the people who are hurting us are also have us outgunned, it just puts us in a very vulnerable position as the public. It scares me because of when you look at where the American public is and the fact that a lot of the people that are on the side of right are not going to be protected by the police. It's scary for what could be in 2021. So I'm praying on it. I'm really hoping, and I'm signing any bills. I'm rallying, and I'm trying to participate in anything that's promoting policy to change that. But the police and the justice system really dropped the ball this year. I really thought that when George Floyd happened, that this was about to be like a catalyst for just amazing sweeping change. But I literally just watched a video on YouTube of Math Hoffa doing a live. He's a battle rapper. Math Hoffa was doing a live, minding his business, talking to like friends and fans, just chilling. Police come up and just for clout, they're smiling in the camera and like roughing them up and putting them in cuffs and all of this stuff only to let them go because they really didn't have a reason to bother them. But the fact that police are still doing this type of stuff at the end of 2020, after all we've been through this year, it's sickening and it's sad. And it really makes me nervous for where we're going to end up next year. And that's not number two most disappointing thing from this year, the police. Last but not least, number one most disappointing thing from this year. And I feel like I'm picking them as the most disappointing because I feel like they are the ones that have set the tone for a lot of the divisiveness and just negativity in our country. And that's the American Congress. And I'm talking about Democrats and Republicans at this point. You have your outliers, people like AOC, and a couple of others, not many that I really care to speak on, but you have a few that are trying to do the right things, but most of them are still chasing political clout and their own self-interest instead of what's best for the people. When the year started off and we got hit with COVID and the police brutality spikes started happening, I really thought that Congress would be able to step in and like really just do the right thing. We already had a lame duck president that was just tearing us apart and like feeding into the negative rhetoric that pushes us apart. So I thought Congress would be able to be that stopgap. And I thought that a lot of those people on Capitol Hill would end up deciding to go against the negativity and for once, while our country is in a crisis, just make the right decisions to help push us forward. However, they have done nothing to really put any type of real police reform legislation on the bills to protect us nationwide. They have done nothing to bring us together as a country. If anything, they are becoming more and more and more divided as we go on. Even just now, this past couple of weeks, where the Republicans in the Senate are still going against stimulus packages that could really help people. It's like they're trying to do the bare minimum just to say they did it, and that's it. When you're looking at the COVID, I look at Congress as those are the people who can pass laws and actual bills and policies that really change what states respond to. And the fact that they did nothing in the way of a comprehensive plan to help us, if nothing else, they just stood by and watched as Trump kind of jacked us up. And Trump would be number one, but I didn't have any expectations for Trump. So he didn't disappoint me. He did exactly what I thought he was going to do. But I really thought Congress would be able to like use their political power to override Trump and his stupidity, to override even us as American public and like really show us how to come together. Yet all they've done is continue to set an example of how to split, how to be petty, and how to just make everything an argument, how to make humanitarian aid an argument. So without a doubt, these are my top 5 most disappointing things from 2020. I hope that they are better in 2021. I'm actually going to do another blog next week highlighting my my top 5 biggest hopes of 2021. But 2020, you have been a doozy, and I'm very glad to see you get the up out of here. You heard me? Jersey. Love you guys. Thank y'all for tuning in. And if you got your top 5 things that disappointed you, or you disagree with my list and have your own, feel free. Comment down below. Like, share, subscribe. It helps us out tremendously. Clicking that notification bell helps us out tremendously. We're on the mission to push to 100 subscribers by the end of this year, by the end of 2021. And we're already at 20, so just keep on telling your friends about us. Where, as you can see, I got a new mic set up, new soundproofing equipment. So I'm working. I'm really trying to improve the quality of what we bring to you guys each week. and just continue to support. If you can't like, comment, subscribe, or share, feel free to donate at $Podna Tiz. That's capital Podna capital Tiz1, $Podna Tiz1 at Cash App, or feel free to purchase some merch from teespring.com/stores/Podnas closet-1. That's all I got for you guys. Continue to follow us on all social media sites at the Podnas on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And you can find us there on YouTube. As always, man, it's your boy, 1/3 of the Podnas Tiz. Peace out. And here's to a happy 2021. Happy New Year, guys.